He's done a phenomenal job with Tank from the very, very beginning. Also want to speak on.
He's done a phenomenal job with Tank from the very, very beginning. Want to speak on Leonard Ellerbe has just dropped a heartbreaking update ahead of Gervonta Davis's December fight against Lamont Roach. Well, it may not be heartbreaking for many who would instead perceive any threat to the December 14th fight as good news. Kenny L. Two excellent trainers. Excellent trainers, those guys don't get their just due, and it kind of reminds what actually kind of reminds me of, and I'm not comparing the however. According to Leonard Ellerbe, Gervonta Davis has just suffered a quite severe knee injury in training while he prepared to face Lamont Roach, and with the news of Gervonta Davis there seems to be an injury curse spreading from one world champion to the other. It was first the World Boxing Council lightweight champion, now it's the World Boxing Association lightweight champion. It seems professional boxers in the lightweight division have something strange going on in their training sessions, as Gervonta Davis has also injured his knee while training in preparation for his fight in December. What that means, it hurt, and great with this. Perhaps the boxing world can now forgive Shakur Stevenson, who had been ridiculed read as the softest boxer of this generation when he injured his wrist during sparring. This is quite sad and damaging for Gervonta Davis, who's making an attempt to fight twice this year, after several issues kept him out of the ring for over 14 months since he fought Ryan Garcia in Music 2023. He was able to come back with an impressive 8th-round knockout victory against Frank Martin, who was the more active fighter when they locked horns in the ring. Now, while the Baltimore native has decided to set up a massive showdown just 6 months after his win against Frank Martin, a knee injury may be why we're going to see Gervonta Davis out for an extended period of music time. That means it hurt good. This is definitely not so good for his career, as many have questioned his ambitions as a boxer, seeing he hasn't fought against any of his top competitors, nor has he made any attempt to unify the lightweight division. Well, the injury happened during a leg workout as he has resumed full training ahead of his December fight against Lamont Roach. He began his full training camp this month and was working on strengthening and stretching his legs on a gym machine. When he injured his knee, he ignored the pain and went on with his sparring. It was then he knew how serious the injury was on him. Music immediate, he sat on the ground as those around rushed to help him untie his gloves and fix his shoulders. The injury was initially deemed light, but if at all he would be wanting a full recovery, he may have to stay out of boxing till next year. This will be most disheartening for Lamont Roach, who has been gearing up for the biggest night of his career. This may see Lamont Roach settle for another fighter in December as he prepares for his big fight against Tank Davis, or he may just wait till Gervonta Davis is fit before returning to the ring. Gervonta Davis's ultimate decision to go with the Maryland-bred Roach has created waves across the boxing community. Rick Glazer, a boxing promoter and insider, revealed the news, sending shock waves through the sport. Glazer took talks and stated that Lamont Roach Jr. for his Tank Davis fight would be going up a division to lightweight. However, the move to up 135 would be for one fight only. On X, Rick Glazer posted breaking: Tank Davis' next opponent is going to be World Boxing Association 130 pounds champion Lamont Roach, moving up to 135 pounds for this fight only. It'll be in December. They're both from Maryland, so it could well be in the DMV region. Details being finalized, revealed Glazer. The International Boxing Hall of Fame elector also stated that the fight will be in December. In line with the previous reports, this was meant to be Gervonta Davis's second fight this year since his return to the ring after a year of absence from the music ring. The finer details of the fight were still being discussed, and there was a huge possibility that the fight would take place in the Washington area, as both boxers hail from Maryland. Until Tank's injury, the premier boxing champions for their part is yet to make an official announcement on this. It was an entirely shocking choice, as Roach was not even in the discussion of possible prospects for Davis. That I think that could be Tank, that would be Devin, that would be Shakur, and Tank Davis himself. You got the last one right. That's the only person that can beat me. Gervonta fans were expecting a big matchup, as names like Shaq Stevenson and Vasyl Lomachenko were being discussed. The obvious weight difference was one of the reasons no one considered Roach as a serious contender for Davis, with no lack of talent in the lightweight division. Finalizing a super featherweight as the next opponent is sure to make boxing fans scratch their heads, and as Expected. The reaction by fans was not kind to the news broken by Rick Glazer. That's a real good fight. I would love to see that. That's a bite. That'll be a scrappy fight. Hey, give me how you compare. Interestingly, the last time Gervonta Davis suffered an injury was over 18 months ago. Back then he found his way around it and the fight went on. Truly, Gervonta "Tank" Davis is a household name in the boxing world. The Maryland-born boxer has held titles in 3 different weight classes. When Davis was scheduled to fight Ryan Garcia on April 15 last year in Las Vegas, he had an injury case that went viral. Apart from the Chiefs winning their 4th Super Bowl, Davis was in the spotlight at the same event. Davis was seen in a predicament that inevitably gave rise to many questions from his fans. Hey, what happened? Why you in the wheelchair? Happen all the time. Should be happening. Am I right? No, he needed a wheelchair to get around at the Super Bowl on Sunday after recently suffering an ankle injury, but the star boxer told TMZ Sports he expects to be healthy for his huge upcoming fight. Unclear when the 28-year-old was injured and how significant the ailment is, but Davis said when leaving the big game at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, that he's all right. He added of the injury stuff happen all the time. Stuff be happening. The timing obviously wasn't great for Davis. He was in talks for a super fight with rival Ryan Garcia and the two had reportedly agreed to an April 15 date for the much-anticipated bout. Fight coming up. Got beat it, bro. Fight coming. He talking to me, dog. You got to beat it, bro. He Tank's talking to me. He ain't talking to you. He's talking to me right now. If the agreement was ultimately signed, it meant Tank would have only 2 months to get healthy in time for the scrap. However, Davis shared a video on his Twitter. He debunked all the claims regarding his injury ahead of his fight with Garcia, which is one of the most anticipated lightweight matchups. Music. The speculations about Davis's injury came about when he was seen moving in a wheelchair during the Super Bowl game between Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs. The fighter also added a personal message saying "shut up," retweeting the news post by Music. TMZ Kingry didn't hold back from commenting on the situation. The fighter tweeted, "Stay focused, champ. We got a fight coming up." On the TMZ post, seeing Davis in the wheelchair worried the fans about his super fight with Geeka. Davis put the fans' apprehension to bed with the recent post and whatnot. And they talk about ring rush. No such thing. You got to keep pushing, go hard, so I understand it. Eventually Davis won the breakout fight last April when he knocked out Ryan Garcia in their Las Vegas blockbuster. However, he then spent 44 days in prison after violating the terms of a sentence that initially saw him set to avoid being sent to jail at the start of May. Davis was sentenced over his November 2020 hit-and-run car crash which injured 4 people after an impromptu hearing yesterday, and now he will finish his 90-day sentence in the Baltimore City Jail. Deputies say Davis violated the term because he accepted a plea deal and pleaded guilty to 4 traffic offenses. Luckily, he avoided a custodial sentence. Tank was instead ordered to fulfill 90 days of home detention, but was sent to prison not even a month later. Gervonta Davis apparently didn't take the terms of his sentence of 90 days of home detention too seriously. The Baltimore Banner reported on its website Friday that Davis was jailed Thursday because spent time since his sentencing living at the Four Seasons Hotel in Baltimore and a luxury condo he recently purchased in the Silo Point section of Baltimore. Davis, 28, was sentenced to 90 days of home detention, 3 years of probation, and 200 hours of community service May 5 for causing a hit-and-run accident in November 2020 in Baltimore. Davis's hometown Baltimore Circuit Judge Althea M. Handy ordered Davis to spend the ensuing 90 days at the home of his longtime trainer and father figure Calvin Ford. Davis's attorney Michael Tomko never requested permission for Davis to change locations following his sentencing hearing. His home detention sentence in a 2020 hit-and-run crash. He said his home was too small, so he moved to the Four Seasons Hotel but did not get permission. He was adjudged to have violated the terms of his home detention and was ordered to serve the rest of his 90-day sentence in jail. As a result, it was revealed that he violated the terms by trying to serve the home detention order at the Four Seasons Hotel and a $3.4 million penthouse rather than trainer Calvin Ford's one-bedroom home. As the judge had agreed when authorities learned Davis had been living elsewhere, he was ordered to appear at a hearing late Thursday afternoon. The undefeated knockout artist was taken into custody at Baltimore Central Booking immediately after the hearing, according to the Ball.